please, if you are a student, if you are a lecturer, come and join us here today at 1 o'clock. We will be having trade union speakers. We will be having a rally and more action in the future. There are students coming over from the Welsh College of Music and Drama to join us. And hopefully we can go from strength to strength in building a movement within the Students' Union and within the lecturer trade unions to say that we need to have a ceasefire, we need lasting peace in Palestine. My son is 3 years old and he's striking today as part of the student strikes in Palestine. But you know, we all have to take a stand, and whatever age we are, whatever profession we're in, it's really important we take a stand. There's a child being killed every 15 minutes in Palestine. You know, that's the reality on the ground. Aid is not reaching people in Palestine. Israeli people are blocking aid from reaching Palestinians who are shaving their heads off because of the way that they can't wash themselves. The infections that they're getting because they can't look after themselves, because they can't get access to aid. If nothing motivates you, get motivated for the children being affected by this crisis, by the constant bombing from Israel of Palestine. Imagine if that was happening here today in Cardiff. Imagine if we were trying to go about our daily life and we were getting bombed to destruction. What would you do? What would you want the international community to do? Would you want them to look back by? Would you want them to walk away? No, we would want them to support us. That's why it's so important that Wales, Cardiff, the UK, the world stands with Palestine and says, no, we have to find peace. We have to have the rights of Palestinians restored. We cannot continue in this way. And that's why it's important, even if you write a letter to your MP, even if you turn up today, even if you just go on one demonstration, it's better than doing nothing at all. So please support this demonstration here today, 1 o'clock. Some of you may have lectures, but those lectures will happen tomorrow. Some of you are going to be paying more fees because we've just heard the announcement. And I really want that education to be viable for you, but this is more important right now. People are dying. People who are holding white flags up, saying they want to go and support their families, are being killed. How can the international community justify doing nothing in this way, apart from South Africa and some other noble countries who are making a stand? We have to act. It's not easy for people to take a stand in the workplace. We've got health workers of Palestine who are making a stand in their place of work. We've got people doing lots of activities in other areas of trade union participation. It's really important that when you go into your workplace, you say why you're doing this and say why you're supporting Palestine. We've also got some banners here from Apartheid-Free Zone Cardiff. So this is a campaign to boycott Israeli goods. There's lots and lots of things you can be boycotting, but if you go onto the Boycott, Divestment, Sanctions website, it'll give you a clear list of the main things to boycott. Because really we could probably boycott lots and lots of things. But the main ones, as you will know, that we have been boycotting is McDonald's, Zara, Burger King, Barclays, of course, funding the arms trade. Sabra hummus. If you go into Sainsbury's, get a little sticker, stick it over the hummus. Ahava. HP. There's so many different things you can be boycotting. Not buying those things will hurt. We've seen McDonald's say in the last few days that in the Middle East, McDonald's finances are struggling. We've seen how boycotting Starbucks, for example, is making a difference. If you use your voice, if you use the power that you have as one individual, it can go a long way. Don't underestimate what you can do.
I am not an official speaker, but I just wanted to say hello. I'm a student here at Cardiff University, and I'm so proud that so many of us have given up our time, our classes and our studies and our free time to be here today to call for a ceasefire. The reason that we've been driven to be here is because the people that we put our trust into are making a decision every way to continue supporting with their words, with their money, with their military powers, to continue bombing innocent civilians every day. Rishi Sunak is waking up every day deciding, yes, Israel can continue. He's supporting them. He's announcing that on the media. He's letting us down. The only strong political opponents we have is Labour. Labour did not choose to call for a ceasefire. All they had to do was vote and say, no, stop bombing Gaza. And they didn't even have the courage to do that. We are students of Cardiff University and we have power. This institution has power. It has over 33,000 students, 5,000-ish staff. We have money, we have power, and yet they are silent. And that's why we've been driven to come here today. And in fact, not only are they silent, they are silencing us. They are discrediting us. They are saying that we are hate marchers. They are calling us anti-Semitic. They are calling us terrorists. They are arresting us. It's pure lies. Do not be scared into believing that. That's why there's so few of us here today, because so many people are scared and worried about getting deported, getting kicked out of our course, getting a bad reputation. But it's not true. We're not anti-Semitic. We're not terrorists. We know that. It's just a smear campaign and a campaign of fear to silence us. Let's keep coming together. And to be let's be real, all of you have done an amazing job coming here today. But why are there only, 100 people? That is shameful. We are the biggest university in Cardiff. We've got University of South Wales on our doorstep. We've got Cardiff Met University. Where the hell is everyone, students? Wake up. I know COVID was hard. I know we've got a cost of living crisis, but we are the next generation. We need to take a stand because no one else is. So if you can, come, it's great that you've come here today. Keep shouting, and I'm not putting a dampener or anything, but after this, speak to anyone that you know who might be an organizer. If you don't know anyone, speak to me, and continue to connect. Tell your friends, we don't have enough people to give out leaflets, put up posters. We all need to come together because the powers that we have entrusted to protect us, to stand for justice, peace and truth, are letting us down. Thank you.
My name is Mike Berry. I'm here from JOMEC, the Department of Journalism, Media and Culture, and I was asked to come down here and talk for a few minutes about some of the media coverage of the conflict. I've been doing research on media coverage of the conflict for the last couple of decades, and over that time we've seen some very kind of clear patterns in coverage. Back in the early 2000s we looked at the Second Intifada, later we looked at the war in Gaza in 2008-2009, and we've also been looking at the more recent conflict. And some of the main things that you find is there's very little context about the conflict. There's very little about the history of the conflict. Nothing really in media very often about 1948 or 1967. And of course that disadvantages the Palestinian point of view, which is rooted in particular historical moments. What we also have tended to find is that there tends to be far more attention given to Israeli perspectives, and the media coverage, particularly in broadcast, is often told from the Israeli perspective. Other things that we found is that often there's very, very different language used to describe killings on both sides. So we looked recently at the most recent ongoing Gaza war, and we found that certain kinds of words such as atrocity, words such as murder, words such as massacre, on broadcast TV seem to be only used to describe the deaths of Israelis and not Palestinians, despite there obviously being a much, much larger number of Palestinians who died. over the last 3 or 4 months. We might ask the BBC why that is, and it's actually not something that's peculiar just to the BBC. We find it more widely in CNN. There was a report recently on the kind of language that was used in CNN. And we really have to ask ourselves, why are certain victims seen to be more worthy and described in different ways than others? Other kind of key things that we've found is, as I say, that the Israeli perspective tends to be presented more, and of course in coverage both perspectives need to be there. But the Palestinian point of view, which is essentially that they're fighting a war of national liberation to free themselves from occupation and what they see as an apartheid state. Those things are not there in media, particularly in broadcast. And broadcast media has a responsibility to feature both sides, to be impartial. So what I would suggest is, if you're unhappy with the coverage, is to write in to the media, write into the BBC, write into the ITV and say, you know, there is research that suggests, you know, you're not presenting both sides of the story. Where is the Palestinian perspective? And although you might not believe it necessarily, but the media, particularly public service broadcasting, does take a note of kind of complaints that go in. So I would suggest, you know, make yourselves heard. Okay, thanks very much.